as the Western Conference Finals are underway. They do it in dramatic fashion. Double overtime. Who else? Connor McDavid, 32 seconds in. Give Edmonton a 1-0 series lead. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Oil Stream Postgame Show. Live on location at Hudson's, Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. Of course, the postgame show, as well as the pregame show, brought to you, as always, by GCL Diesel. Tom Gazzola, Matt Kassian YouTube Trev, with you to break it all down. GCL Diesel, by the way, Edmonton's diesel fuel system specialists and providers of critical engine components for over 50 years. Join the conversation. Get at us in the text line, 780-218-9999, or in the nasty chat as Edmonton wins game one in a nail-biter, close one, stressful one, fun one, great hockey game. And let's get our game analyst, Matt Kassian, on here right away. Cass, my goodness, man. Like, as stressful as that might have been, all of Hudson's Bourbon Street was tense, especially after Dallas tied it, especially after Dallas had all that possession time, won every face-off, basically. But it was a hell of a hockey game. And like you said, at least the Oilers won tonight.
At least they won. I was like, if I'm staying up late, they better win. Yeah, all these late night games, we get the early ones, and we're like, yeah, nice. It'll be done early. We'll get some energy, be right back at it, and double OT. But hey, we're not going to be as tired as Stuart Skinner or as the Edmonton Oilers. And Tommy, they ultimately get the win. Took longer than we expected or hoped.
Yeah.
Who thought McDavid wouldn't bury on a pretty much open net? And Tommy, it's exciting, so I'm sure everyone's fired up and not going to be able to sleep anyways. So it's all good.
Good point. They all of a sudden have a ton of energy. All right, let's get to the scoring summary and the game stats as well. We'll get to your text. Keep those coming in. Your thoughts on Edmonton's 3-2 double OT victory in game one of this Western Conference Final. Leon Draisaitl would open up the scoring in the second period, his 9th of the playoffs from Brett Kulak and Zach Hyman. Good job by Kulak to get the puck on net. Draisaitl buries 58 seconds into the middle frame. Then Zach Hyman, not long after, would add to the lead to make it 2-0, his 12th of the postseason from Connor McDavid at 4:17. But before you could get too excited about a 2-goal lead, Tyler Seguin would score his 4th of the playoffs after a bad giveaway and decision by Brett Kulak, whiffs on the puck. And unfortunately, Jimmy Benn picks it up, goes around Stuart Skinner, tucks it into the front of the net. Kulak's tying up Seguin, but can't find the puck in his skates. And Seguin bangs it home. 6:11, time of that goal. In the third period, things were looking pretty good. Edmonton defending very well with that 1-goal lead. They play well in 1-goal games, whether they're trailing or they're leading. And things were looking solid until another gaffe, a couple of opportunities to get the puck out of their zone. Vinny Desharnais makes a soft play to the wall, gives the puck right back to Dallas, essentially. Then as he's tracking back to the net, does not pick up the right guy. And it ends up being Tyler Seguin, who's Johnny on the spot after the puck goes to the net from Jason Robertson and Dodonov. And how would I describe it? Nurse tries to block it, kicks it right to Seguin. He has a wide open cage. No chance for Stu Skinner. This one is even up, and it needed overtime in that OT. The first one, that is. Dallas with all kinds of possession. Dallas winning every faceoff, but Stu Skinner getting lucky, a couple of posts, and then making some big stops. Edmonton, a couple opportunities. Connor McDavid with one, and he couldn't convert. Cass alluded to it. So we needed double OT. And in that second overtime, just 32 seconds in, Evan Bouchard puts the puck towards the net, and Connor McDavid with the nice redirection home, his 3rd of the playoffs. Nugent Hopkins, Bouchard, the apples on that one as the Oilers win it. 3-2 in double OT. Shots on goal, 38-33 in favor of Edmonton. Faceoffs, 55.7 to 43.3 in favor of the Stars. The Stars kill off the lone opportunity they give Edmonton on the power play, and then Edmonton goes 5 for 5 on the PK. Big PK, 4 minutes in. In overtime, they had a 4-minute double minor to McDavid, drawing blood on the high stick. PK came up huge. Obviously, a couple of posts there, getting lucky. Hits, 33-29 in favor of the Oilers. Block shots, 25-20-4 in favor of the Stars. Giveaways, 15 for the Oil, 9 for the Stars. Takeaways, 12 for the Stars, 8 for Edmonton. But the number that matters most is 3 in the Oilers goal column and 2 in the Stars goal column as Edmonton wins it. Cass, can you take, we know they don't talk about momentum, but what positives, if you're the Oilers outside of the win, do you go, all right, that was good, that was good, that was good, and what stuff do they need to work on a little bit?
Yeah.
Aside, face-offs being number one.
Face-offs being number one. Interesting, we saw Draisaitl with the brace on his finger, so that's a bottom hand too, so I wonder if that affected him at all. Actually, I wouldn't say wonder. It definitely affected him on the draw. So face-offs, something to get better with. Tom, the penalty kill, fantastic tonight. Absolutely fantastic tonight. You kill off all 5. Got to be a great feeling. That's a lot of momentum built on the penalty kill standpoint. Power play doesn't really get a look. They were forced to call the too many men on the ice, and beyond that, they didn't call much. Which, Tommy, it was like the McDavid high sticking, which panicked us all and left us all sitting there with a sick feeling in our stomach, being like, of course this is going to be what's going to happen, and they're going to score. It should have been. It was a penalty. He high sticked them, but. He high sticked him because he was too strong from Duchesne hooking him and holding him. And so you're kind of like, well, it should have been a 2-minute penalty because Duchesne should have had 2. McDavid should have had 4. But I digress. The penalty killers did a fantastic job. Other good things. Stuart Skinner, great game. Fantastic game, Stuart Skinner. Makes some pretty clutch saves. There's a couple sequences where he made 2 or 3 saves in a row, especially early in the hockey game, that I thought settled him right into it. What else did I like? I liked Warren Fogel's game. If I'm looking at individuals, I thought Warren Fogel played a really, really solid game. Yeah, solid game. Moved his feet well. He was around it tonight. Dylan Holloway, again, I thought played another solid game too. Brett Kulak, aside from the point, I thought he struggled a little bit tonight.
Agreed.
Wasn't his best night. On the negative side, what other negatives do I got for you? Vinny Desharnais at times a little scrambly tonight.
Cass, can I just, sorry to interrupt, but on the defensive side of things, I thought for the first 2 periods they were defending really well, and then it changed in the third. Was it Dallas just forcing it? The Oilers getting a little bit nervous and tense? Am I not reading this right? How did you see that, or am I wrong on how the defensive side of the game started to change, where all of a sudden Dallas was all over them? Yeah,
well, Dallas started to play more desperate. The desperation came into their game a little bit, and Edmonton kind of sat back and tried to hold on to the lead. And Edmonton kind of reverted a little bit to, and this is something we could talk about, things to improve on when you have a lead, is not reverting to that, it's not a panic mindset, Tommy, but it's like a just holding on for dear life mindset, just hoping that things are going to work out mindset, instead of just that calm and collected. And I thought Vinny Desharnais a couple of times where it was, he had an opportunity. There's one icing in particular that he'd been out there about a minute already. And he ends up icing it when he had to play through the middle. And it was just I'm just going to get it out of here, which is it's not like it's a horrible, awful play to make, but you'd like to actually see them make some of those plays under that kind of pressure. And on top of that, and you mentioned it in text, Dallas maybe was a little sleepy off the start, and they got better as the game went on. I think, the Dallas team you saw more in the third period and then in overtime, that's more the Dallas we're going to see the rest of the series. Yeah. And Edmonton adjusted. They got back to their game a little bit, but they bent, and you can't have that happen. So yeah. But again, that's maybe nitpicking because they ended up winning the hockey game. But you don't want to play on your heels, and they played on their heels a little bit in that third period.
Absolutely, and I think it started to happen later, because I even jotted down I think it was 10 minutes in, I'm like, Edmonton's still kind of attacking and getting some offensive zone time, even though they only had the 1-goal lead. But eventually, the unfortunate bounce or the bad play, not getting the puck out, the attempted block, and it goes right to Sagan. He buries it. Okay. I did mention that I thought that the Stars were sloppy for the first little bit, and you said that they started to find their game as it progressed. It seemed like outside of bending, Edmonton could hang. Will they be able to hang for the rest of the series? It's nice that they get the one already and at least have a split in Dallas, but could you see Edmonton hanging with Dallas in this series?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be... Now it's going to be tight. I still think it's going to be tight. I picked on two guys and a goalie this afternoon. I said Edmonton Oilers in 7. After watching that first game, I still probably stand by that, where I think Edmonton squeaks this out, but it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Dallas is a good team. If Rupe, Hintz, Ketchup, whatever. When he comes back in the lineup, they become a better team.
Don't say cats up.
I'm gonna make me say it now. It's gonna mess
Ketchup,
with me.
cats up,
ketchup, aluminum. He makes them a better team and adds a little bit to their depth. So there's more for or from the Dallas Stars still, but I still do think there's more from the Edmonton Oilers as well. And you saw they had some opportunities. There were some good saves by Ottinger as well. You look at Holloway's opportunity. Fogle had a couple opportunities, like McDavid's opportunity, the first one that didn't go in OT1. So you had chances as well to put more pucks in the net that you didn't. So I think there's more from the Edmonton Oilers as well as more from the Dallas Stars, which Tommy just tells me it's going to keep being a really fun series. And I thought that game was exciting. There were some moments where it was a little end to end, and you're kind of like, okay, boys, calm this down a little bit, because for Edmonton, it's like, yeah, you can calm this down a little bit, but it certainly made for an exciting watch. And Tommy, I think it's going to be a long series, but a fun one.
I agree, and it's going to be more fun hockey to watch, as opposed to like the grinding that we saw in the second round against the Vancouver Canucks. Because, like you said, a little back and forth, open it up a little bit. Cass, I'm all for it, and there's going to be peaks and valleys for sure in this series. I mean, if your heart didn't stop a couple of times, if you're an Oilers fan or a Stars fan in the game, you're dead if you can't ride that emotional wave.
Well, my wife was even getting worked up over it, and she's just like, I don't really watch hockey, but she was getting like nervous and fired up. And yes, she doesn't cheer, or I guess I should say no, she doesn't cheer, even though she's Texan, for the Dallas Stars, but she was getting nervous and fired up over it. By the way, make sure you smash that like button. There's a whole bunch of you in here. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. That would be great. It really helps. Toxic Texan who's not trolling, because I know Josh. I don't know who he's cheering for, actually. Probably need to ask him.
Conflicted.
He might be conflicted, but he's out of Houston too, so we'll see. The boys are big McDavid fans, I know. So, Tommy, what do you think, because this is something that stood out to me, what do you think about Edmonton's ability to turn over pucks off the forecheck tonight? How well do you think they did that?
I thought that I don't know. I thought at times they were dogged on the puck, but then other times it was like a one and done, and Dallas was able to get out the other way pretty smooth and transition back. And then Edmonton defended well. I liked Edmonton's back pressure. That was good. I thought it was spotty, I guess, Cass, is the answer I would say. Like early on, very good. Zone time, possession. And then it seemed like it was a total 180 the other way. And they were struggling to keep the pucks in. They're struggling to make anything happen in the offensive zone. Even off the rush, it just felt like the game, like either maybe, like you said, Dallas found its game, or Edmonton didn't adapt quick enough and were playing catch up a little bit. I don't know what it was, but I think it was spotty, to answer your question about their forecheck. Like good at times and then kind of faded away as the game went on.
I would agree with you. And when it was good, they turned a lot of pucks over. They generated some pretty good chances off of forced turnovers, which was great and great to see. It was, I guess, interesting as well. Dallas clearly, their game plan is to move the puck north quickly, to try to really push the pace, to try to take advantage. They're looking at this going, okay, with some of Edmonton's defensemen, they maybe jump into the rush a little bit too much, or we can catch them sleeping. And on top of that, they're probably looking at it and saying, if we blow the zone early, if we just send a guy the second we get possession, Edmonton at times can get caught with 3 forwards down low because they're trying to generate offense, and that does happen on occasion. So it was interesting to see a little bit of the chess match with that, where Edmonton was trying to adjust for it. And maybe it's the type of thing for me, and this is a coaching thing, where it's such a high risk, high reward with the amount that they were trying to blow the zone. Because normally you try to push the pace, opens up the ice a little bit, pulls the defenseman back, you create some more space for your own team breaking out, so the offside winger usually goes, but not as far as the Dallas Stars offside winger would typically be going tonight. So it'll be interesting because it can bite you if you get too far away and things don't work, but it also can generate opportunities. Like we saw one breakaway pretty early on in that game where the Edmonton Oilers weren't awake and weren't ready for it. So just an interesting little note there for me.
In regard to that, Cass, I did expect to see the Oilers, because so many times throughout this season, with pinches and guys not coming back to cover for the pinches, we saw a lot of, obviously, odd man rushes against the Oilers. And even in the playoffs, we've seen a bunch of that. During the game, whenever there was a pinch or Dallas was trying a quick up, I was waiting for it to be an odd man rush as the camera was, finally panning back in the right direction. And 9 times out of 10, there was that forward back covering, and they had great back pressure. So I'll give them credit for that. Even when Dallas was doing the quick ops and starting to turn the tide a little bit, getting it out of their zone quickly, I'll give the Oilers credit for having good back pressure. Yeah,
good back pressure, and I think pretty good awareness for the most part on it as well. Like they didn't get caught, or at least not that often. I think just the one time they really got caught, and then after that they settled into it or made adjustments. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much Dallas continues to try to do that, and what Edmonton kind of counters with. Now, if they continue to counter as they did for most of the game with really good back pressure, being responsible back, protecting from the inside out, which for the most part they did, you're going to be okay, and it's not going to bite you. They just have to keep doing that in the future and in the next game.
780-218-9999. It is the Oil Stream post-game show live on location at Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. If you're wondering why all these songs are only lasting a couple of, a minute at most, it is Rockstar Bingo, a.k.a. Bingo Tunes tonight, and I have already been approached about 5 times about bingo stuff. So as I write this and as I say this, I'll show you. Here is my card for my rezo. I'm showing you not the DJ. I am not the DJ. Do not ask for a song. I am not the DJ. I know all of you are listening and watching going, what the hell is going on? Who are you pointing at? He's over there, Cass. He's over there. I'll try to do a post-game show, a very serious radio station.
You know what? It's your hair, Tom. You look cool enough to be a DJ. So
I'm not. I will look like a lumberjack today, but thank you, Cass. That's very, very nice of you.
Hey, good-looking lumberjack, except you can't grow a beard.
No, I can't. It's just wispy, and I look like a Frenchman.
That's why I said you can't grow a beard.
Yeah. Get in on the nasty chat. Like Cass said, like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends if you're new to the channel. We appreciate you. We've been doing this all season long. First year at Edmonton Sports Talk, and it's been a hell of a ride, and we will only keep building this bad boy up further and further. Let's go into the text line. We've got Matt Kassian and YouTube Trev, as well as myself, Tom Gazzola. And let's go to our first set of texts here, Cass. This one says, such a smart play by Bouchard on the winner. Are we on the, quote, Bouchard is number 1 defenseman in the NHL, unquote, bandwagon yet? Fort Sask Mike. I'll let you answer that one, Cass. I know the answer, but you go for it.
No, he's not the best defenseman in the NHL, but he's a really good one. He's a really good one. I think I said on the podcast the other day that I could see him winning a Norris in the future. He's a really good one, and he could potentially, and next year might be the year to do it. Could be a 100-point season for a defenseman potentially with that power play. You could see that as he just continues to mature and develop. He's not the best defenseman in the NHL, but he's really, really good. He is a very good defenseman, and he's been playing really well. That's that, Tommy. What do you think?
No, not the best defenseman in the NHL. Having a tremendous postseason, yes. Did he have a very strong season? Yes, after a horrible start. He is a good, solid star D-man in the NHL who is rising to the occasion in the playoffs, but no, not the best defenseman in the NHL. I could list off a bunch of guys who are still playing right now or just eliminated that are better than him all around. So, but I like the thought, and that's a good thing, and it's a far cry from what we were saying about Evan Bouchard in October and November. So that's good.
Yep.
Progress.
V-Power in on the nasty chat says, someone tell the fans to sit down. Couldn't see a darn thing on the lower boards.
Tell them, Cass, what they do in Texas with Texas hockey.
That's Texas. It doesn't matter what sport. Doesn't matter. That is Texas. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. It does not matter. That's I don't like it either. Like, I like to sit and watch because I'm like, I'm here relaxing and chilling out. But that's Texas. That's what they do. So not gonna change. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, not new. They've been doing it for decades in Dallas, and Cass is right.
It's all sports. Go to the sports down there. Go to college football. It's just that's what they do.
Yeah. All right, here's one from Jay in the Park. Says, question for you guys. How do they review a penalty for double minor that wasn't even called on the ice? It wasn't called at all. Play continued. Dallas goalie froze the puck. So I don't even understand how that can progress and then turn into a penalty. Cass, correct me if I'm wrong, but the situation room can call down, right?
Situation room and linesman can call double minors. Like they could upon whistle, the linesman can call it. I believe that's the case. I believe that's the case. Again, I hated it because, it was a high sticking. Should be a double minor, but you just missed the massive hooking that led to it, where Duchesne's basically wrapped all over McDavid, holding his stick down. And so McDavid, is trying to power through and get through so he can actually play. So there should have been two penalties, should have been a double minor and a hooking or holding. Take your pick. But I believe it's either the situation room or the linesman, which is where you saw them all kind of get together. Where I think the linesmen see it on a double minor. I believe that they can call it.
This one comes in, says, too many cute passes. Dallas getting a lot of nice breakouts from the easy turnover near the slot. Let's go to Jocelyn. Says, my son doesn't watch hockey. He was watching and getting excited and swearing at the TV. A new Oilers fan. Jasmine says, Tommy, who are the 3 stars? Missed it. Thanks. Hi, Casser, from Jasmine. Are you now Casser?
Barely.
Can we call you that?
Barely. I don't know. I've been called a lot of things. So add it to the list.
Add it to the list. All right, let's find the 3 stars on the official game summary. Connor McDavid, star number 1. Tyler Seguin, star number 2. And Zach Hyman, star number 3. All right, back to the inbox we go. 780-218-9999. And then nasty chat, do your thing. Cass will yell at you there. This one comes in and says, that was quietly the best game an opponent has played against the Oil. I thought that Dallas played a very good game, better as they went along. Cass said the same. My dad, Reno, says Colorado won game 1, then Dallas took over. What are you doing, Reno? Are you from here?
Come on,
Unbelievable.
Reno.
Come on, Reno.
Someone put that guy in jail.
Yeah, come on, man. 7th best scored Texan says Tanev/Lundell had only been on for 2 goals against coming into the game. All 3 with them on. Crazy tonight. Cass, I like that point 7th best scored makes about Lundell and Tanev. Tanev, obviously, a huge block on McDavid when he had, Jake Ottinger down and out. But Edmonton and how it attacks Dallas's defense. Did you see anything there? Do you see any potential openings or any little things, tendencies that the Stars blue line has that Edmonton might be able to expose?
Well, I think when you really put heavy pressure on them, they can turn the puck over. And we saw it from all those guys. We saw it from Lundell. We saw it from Tanev and Heiskanen, where you forced, I thought, and on some of the Oilers' forechecks where they had good stick on puck, so they took away time and space, and they were in there. They were not just. Sometimes when people forecheck and when players forecheck, and it's a skill, and this is a skill. Players don't really take anything away. like they still leave passing lanes open and they enable a player to have the pressure come at them, but still make a pass or make a play. I thought there were times tonight when Edmonton did a really good job of being stick on puck and taking away time and space of those three in particular, and they forced some turnovers because of it. The Lindell Tanev group, I mean, they've been fantastic all playoffs. I think they will continue to be really good, and they did at times a pretty solid job of shutting the Oilers down. But if you attack them over and over and you attack them with a ton of speed, just like anybody, you can still get to the front of the net and you can still create. And I think we saw that tonight, that when the Oilers did, there was some opportunity there. There was some opportunity there. It's not going to be every time. You're going to have to be patient with it. But you can attack those guys. They're not perfect. They're very good. They're not perfect. You can still, I think, with speed at times expose them.
Nicely said. All right. Cass, there's a question for you from Jimbo. Jimbo says, can Cass please weigh in on the lopsided penalties in Dallas' favor? The PK goes 5 for 5, power play 0 for 1. Cass, I'll just preface your answer with this. Stars, one of the least penalized teams, if not the least penalized team in the NHL.
Yeah, well, there wasn't that much that was like glaringly obvious. Oh, they missed that call. Oh, they missed that call. Oh, they missed that call. Dallas plays a disciplined game. Now, the only one that I had where I was like, I can't believe they didn't call that was when McDavid took the high sticking. I mean, it should have been a penalty before he took the high sticking off the draw. Again, holding, interference, hooking, could have been any of that. That was the only one where I was like, oh, that really should have been a penalty. But Dallas plays a pretty clean game. They play hard. Tommy, it wasn't like there was like a whole bunch of moments in there where if this game was in Edmonton, we'd start booing the officials for calling those penalties. I thought the call on Dylan Holloway was a horrible call because he was interfered with. And the reason that he ends up, looking like he's holding, trying to get to Jamie Benn is he got interfered with, trying to get to him. Right. And so it's like, well, yeah, he kind of bumps him in the way his arm is. He ends up getting a penalty, but the only reason it was is because he was getting interfered with. So I didn't like that one either. I didn't think the refs were great. I didn't think they were horrible. Don't expect Edmonton to not draw any penalties the rest of the way. I'm not as all over the officials as some people are. I would hope the next game, if Edmonton plays a clean game, they get 1 or no penalties. And if Dallas doesn't, they get 5. That's the big thing for me. I'm like, okay, if this is the standard you're setting and the way you're going to call, and you're not going to try to do even up and make up calls, then you got to run it that way the whole series. So we'll see what happens with that. Tommy, I do want to jump into something because I don't like talking about the officials that much.
Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead, and then we'll jump in.
I wanted to add one thing about the penalties, because I had a few people come up to me as we were waiting in overtime for the second OT to start. They're like, come on, what are these Oilers penalties? Like, are they not seeing the Stars doing the same thing? And I was like, well, Bouchard whacked at the hands. I know it didn't hit the hands, but you can't do that. The ref can't see it. And so he assumes that's a slash at the hands. Called. Kane gets his butt end into the face of the Stars. That's a penalty. And then McDavid draws blood, even though there should have been like a holding. Like you said, I fully agree with you. So I understand that. But those other ones, those are penalties. You can't do that. Cannot do that. Outside of that, Cass, I thought you explained it well. Go ahead, take it away, what you wanted to hit on.
Well, it was a great question, so I want to talk about it. From Brent Kellington in the Nasty Chat. He said, hey, me and you, Tommy, were you guys surprised how balanced the time on ice for the Oilers was, aside from maybe overtime?
Yes. Simply put, yes. I thought we would see more Draisaitl McDavid. When we saw Sam Carrick get out there with a minute and a half left, I think, was it OT or the third period? I was like, well, what's going on? Now, there was a face-off, and then they put the Draisaitl line on, I think, to finish up the period. But I was just like, whoa. Is that a good idea? And then they got some zone time. I think they even got an offensive zone face-off or something, too. And I was like, okay, good call. But, yes, surprise, Cass. I'll answer it that way. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was a little surprised as well. But I think from a start of the series standpoint, if we want to talk about coaching and adjusting or learning or growing, for Noblock to look at this to say, hey, this could be, we just had a 7-game series. This could be a long series. I can't ride these guys that much as I did against Vancouver. Fair point. Especially if there was strep throat or sickness or whatever was going on in the dressing room, maybe taking a look at this and say, hey, if I can be a little bit more balanced here, because I know Dallas with their depth is going to be balanced. If I can trust my guys and let them go play, I need to let them go play. And I thought he did a good job of that tonight. And I thought the players responded well. Like in particular, that fourth line, like I've continued to really, really like that fourth line. And Carrick he's grown on me from a playoff style. Where he's been solid on draws. I'd have to check his face-off percentage today. Yeah, again, 63.6% today.
Yeah.
So he was good on the few draws that he did take today. But he's just physical, and he's around it and going to the net, and it's nothing pretty and nothing fancy. And same from Connor Brown. Nothing overly fancy, but they're playing solid minutes 5-on-5. They're playing solid minutes 5-on-5. And for those guys in your bottom six, if you can play, it's and look at the special teams. I know Edmonton only got one power play today. Penalty kill was really good. Edmonton's special teams are better than Dallas's special teams. And if your bottom six can end up even or better 5-on-5, you are in a pretty good position, very good position. Right. And if from a minute standpoint, you can trust those guys to eat up some of those minutes as the series goes on, it enables you then in overtime, as we saw today, to now roll out McDavid more often, to now roll out Leon Draisaitl more often, and to be a little bit more situational with it rather than feeling like you're stuck with having to roll those guys over and over and over again right from the drop of the puck. Now, it helps when you have the lead, too.
Yeah.
Because you're not chasing and you're not trying to score a goal. You're not behind being like, we have to have these guys out here. So that's a benefit of playing with the lead versus not playing with the lead. But the amount of the equality, let's call it 5-on-5, still did surprise me a little bit.
Here's an example of some of the ice times tonight. Granted, 2 overtimes, the second OT only lasting 32 seconds before McDavid ended the night. But so the guys that are bottom 6 guys, Derek Ryan finished with 12:37, 175% of his draws. Mattias Janmark, 16:26. Connor Brown played 16:55. Warren Fogle, 14:17. Sam Carrick, 12:12. Dylan Holloway, top 6, 19:53. Ryan McLeod, 15:28. And then Kane, 22:04. So here are the big boys. Nugent Hopkins, 24:46. McDavid, 27:04. Draisaitl, 25:17. Hyman, 26:05. Those last set of numbers there, the 26 for Hyman, 25 for Draisaitl, the 24 for Nugent Hopkins, and 27 for Kane, or for McDavid. Those are usually their numbers sometimes in a 60-minute game, let alone a 80-minute and 32-second game, right?
Yep. Yeah, which is, again, you just played a double overtime game coming off of a 7-game series. More power to you. You can get through that and still win a hockey game. Department of Nuge Defense in. Tommy, did you hear any feedback about the ice condition? Temperature and humidity in Dallas was hot and humid. Yes, it was. It's Texas.
You can speak to that. Speak to that, please. I can't.
No, the ice was bad. The ice was bad. So and it's even more south in Houston. And it was at the game rink too. But at our practice rink, we call it the corner of death or the corner of doom, because the ice just would get so chewed up and so messy and so fragile. There's one particular corner where it's like, you don't know where the puck's going to go. It's going to bounce everywhere. And if you catch an edge in there, you're breaking an ankle. Like that's, and it's not quite that bad. In Dallas playing, they certainly take better care of it than the Aerodrome or practice rink in Houston or in Sugar Land, Texas. But that ice is slow. It is slushy. It is messy. And yes, you have AC in the building and you try to cool it down, but it's humid, which means more moisture buildup. Again, more slushy than regular ice. And yes, you have the people that come out and they shovel it and they try to get some of the snow off. But it builds up quickly and it's sticky. And that means you have to, and we talked about this a little bit with the Vancouver series, you have to watch your passes a little bit. You can't be too fancy, when you're saucer passing, so you're passing it in the air, trying to move it over top of things. You have to know that that's a more difficult play to accomplish. Like the likelihood of something going wrong is higher. So you have to really gauge and weigh the risk in what you're doing when you're doing that. But the ice is bad and it's going to be bad. And as Dusty is in on the nasty chat says, smash a like and subscribe, you pigeons. I didn't call you pigeons. That was Dusty.
Well, that's a nice way to endear yourself to any new viewers or listeners. Way to go, Dustin, Bartholomew Nielsen. All right, 780-218-9999. Or if you're watching via the nasty chat, please hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe if you already haven't. And if this is your first time over here at Edmonton Sports Talk, welcome. Forgo what Dusty said there. I don't think you're pigeons. I think you're all lovely for the most part. We get some trolls in there, especially from the Canucks fans, but I think Dallas fans are generally pretty good. We'll see how things progress throughout the series. They do one other thing on the ice and arenas. Cass, you played on that ice. I did not. I am a arena/stadium nerd. I do know that in Dallas, when they built that arena, there are dehumidifiers in there. Yep. But the ice plant now is probably 20 years old, so it's kind of starting to go probably. And then who knows at what level of condition the dehumidifiers are at. There's always varying degrees of what can affect the ice inside and this and that and everything in between. So probably not as good as it was the day it opened in the early 2000s.
Yeah, and like I said, I know you can have dehumidifiers. I know you can have air conditioning, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Air still
not
gets
the same.
In. It's not the same.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get to a couple texts, and then we do have our first couple of interviews. Cass, I won't take you too long of your time tonight, but do you want to do a couple texts and then hear the first batch of interviews at Ekholm and McDavid, and then we can get your thoughts going into game 2. All right, I had a couple of texts I want to get to. Kent in Red Deer says, Tommy, I am pumped. I knew the Oilers could play with Dallas, but I'll say it. They should start Pickard in game 2. Rest Skinner and have the split that they needed. Skinner needs games off to recoup. It's just in his DNA. This was discussed on the Hangout today. Matty Owanek brought it up. I don't know if someone texted it in. I have no time for this theory. None whatsoever. Skinner's your guy. He played a great game. Great game tonight. Got a little bit lucky, sure. But I thought he was razor sharp. Yeah. He's not being rested. This isn't Freddie Anderson, who's been injured, dealing with blood clots, asking for time off in the playoffs. Not a chance. Cass, what do you think to
No, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Thank you for texting in. That's ridiculous. No. I mean, that would have just been like starting him against Dallas this series because you just had a 7-game series and you want to rest. No.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
He's your guy. You start him.
You just start a goalie. Start him.
He's your starting goalie. Thank you. All right, one more text, then we'll go to the locker room for some interviews. Let's go to Sheldon. Says, hi again, Tommy. Cass, Skinner was excellent. I'm his biggest critic. PK was great. Great win. Tommy, question for you. Puck's going off of Nurse's skate. One time is a bad bounce. Twice, maybe bad luck, but this consistently happens. Why does he try to stop pucks by angling his skate like that? Usually with the stick at waist level. I don't get it. That's from Al, not Sheldon. And then he says, hey again, Tommy. The forecheck wasn't spotty. You can see there was an adjustment in the Oilers defense. Dallas is excellent at neutral zone transition and rush offense. The Oilers essentially backed off the forecheck to prevent the transitional play on the neutral zone and allowed them to have a forecheck back to prevent rush chances. Excellent adjustment by Chris Noblock from Al. Cass, what would you say to Al and his thoughts there?
Yeah, I think you're right to an extent, Al. Where that's I said that sounded that almost mean.
You didn't mean it like Al.
Al. No, sorry, Al. I didn't mean it like that. I agree with you partially. In that I think there is an adjustment from a forecheck standpoint. I mean, you're gonna go no pinch or half pinch from a defenseman standpoint. You're going to be a little bit more aware with your third man not getting caught deep. Your second man, your F2, we call it, making sure that you're working back through the middle and above the puck if possible. So you are going to take some of that pressure off. And yes, you're doing that for the neutral zone to try to eliminate some of those rush chances against, but they were sitting back in their own zone as well.
Yeah.
Like not just forechecking in the offensive zone. They were sitting back in their own zone as well, where they were, and there are times when you need to collapse, when you need to get to the front of the net. But there are also times when you need to press and push and be aggressive in your own defensive zone, because that's how you play defense. And I thought they sat back too much in that as well. And that for me is more where, okay, they were sitting back. But a healthy point, a solid point, Al. So thank you for throwing that out there.
Yes, thank you for the text, Al. Always good to get the text coming in and appreciate that. 780-218-9999. VR Montenegro says that Rip City Step just got a bingo at the Rockstar Bingo tonight here at Hudson's on Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. That's fantastic. It is kind of popular. People are having a good time. But all right, I digress. Let's go into the Oilers locker room, or the podium, I think, because now they're doing podiums for the conference final, and we'll be obviously in the Stanley Cup final as well. YouTube Trev, who are the first couple of guys we're going to hear from?
Yeah, so boys, this one actually is in the locker room. So first we're going to hear from Connor McDavid. He got the OT winner. Let's go to him first, and then we'll go to Mattias Ekholm.
A bit of relief for you, I would imagine, too, to get that goal.
Yeah, always nice to score an overtime goal. A big goal, great play by Bush as per usual, and yeah.
What was it like sitting in the box while that penalty was being killed, and then obviously went and thanked the guys after I saw it?
Long, really long, really long. Miserable. I hated every second of it, but the guys did an amazing job. Truthfully, the penalty kill has just been amazing, and to step in there 4 minutes against a good power play. Can't give those guys enough credit.
What did you see on the chance in the first, the chance that Ottinger and Tanev kind of blocked? What did you see on that sequence?
Yeah, I just have to put it in the net. Simple as that. It should have been in the net, and glad that we were able to get the win. Otherwise, I would have had a tough time sleeping for sure.
Going back to that PK, Connor, what are you seeing from them that, in your opinion, has been successful?
They're just so connected right now. So. In sync, in skating well. They have the extra guy, but sometimes you can't even tell. They're skating so well and they're so well connected. So it's fun to watch. They've been great for the whole playoffs here.
This is another one-goal game you guys play, another one-goal game you guys have won. How much has that helped you in your evolution of trying to get to where you want to be ultimately?
You got to win tight games. We're down to the final four teams, and you don't get to the Final Four without being a great team. So all four teams are solid. Dallas is a great team, and it's going to be tight hockey. And we're comfortable in these games. We're comfortable in this environment, and I thought we did a great job. Truthfully, all game. I thought we played really well all game and generated chances, defended well. I thought we did a lot of good things.
What did you say about Stu tonight? Especially in that first one.
Yeah, just solid. Made some great saves. I think about the breakaway early in the game. Obviously, the penalty kill there in overtime. Made some huge saves throughout overtime. So, super solid. It was everything that we needed.
Bouchard puts that puck right on your tape. Do you shout for that pass? Do you need to?
He sees me the whole way. He makes a great play.
Can I ask what the dispute was on the penalty there? Did you think he hit his own?
My thing was I don't know what I'm supposed to do there. I am going forward, trying to play the puck. It feels like he's holding my stick, and then it feels like his face. I didn't even really feel the high stick at all. I think maybe his face even comes down on my stick. So not sure what I was supposed to do. Maybe just unlucky, I guess. But certainly glad the boys killed it off.
In a game where you guys, the other team gets 5 power plays to your 1, you win the special teams battle, you defend them well. You guys win games a lot of different ways, but this was a kind of a new way. A good way to win a playoff game.
A new way. Well, we can score goals 5-on-5. Our power play's been good for a long time, and it's been there for us when we need it, but we can generate chances. We can score goals 5-on-5 when the power play, either we're not getting them or it's not, necessarily as clean as we'd like. But I thought it was a well.
There's Connor McDavid scoring the game-winning goal 32 seconds into double overtime. McDavid added an assist, +2, 4 penalty minutes, 4 shots on goal, 1 hit. 37.5% on the face-off dot, 27:04 time on ice. Cass, I wrote down 2 quotes from McDavid. PK, so connected.
Yep.
Skating well. And then he added, it almost feels like they're not on the penalty kill or they're down a man. And then the other part that stood out to me was, we're comfortable, quote, in these games. We're comfortable in this environment. Those were the two things I thought were pretty important, starting with the PK where he was very tense, like many Oiler fans were watching them kill off that 4-minute, and then being comfortable in these situations, I think, is a testament to growth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. But we talked all year about how much more once they turn their season around, not the start of the year, but so maybe not all year, the most of the year, about the maturity of this team, the way that they were playing, and they have carried that in to where they don't want to panic. And yes, Dallas ties it up, but don't panic. Like just get through. And there was no panic on that penalty kill for 4 minutes, and they did a great job on it. And it's kind of funny, and I know there's lots of people that are furious with the officials. I still don't think the officials did a horrible job. They did miss a hold on that call, but you can't review and go back and call the hold. You can review and go back and call the high stick, but you're not going to call a hold that way. So it's unfortunate. There is some unluckiness to that and to that play. But beyond that, like I think someone was mentioning, well, what about Draisaitl's finger if he broke his finger? Face-offs are vicious. They're not beer league face-offs. Like they are vicious. And it probably happened then. And yeah, maybe he got whacked, but it wasn't like there was Dallas penalties all over the place that weren't being called. Like they played a disciplined game. So I know you're upset with the officials. Take a deep breath. They still won the hockey game and they're fine. And they played through that in spite, even if you say the officials were horrible or you think that, in spite of that, they played a mature hockey game and they got the win.
780-218-9999. You can text us, and if you're watching on YouTube, get in the nasty chat. Matt Hyman says, Tom, did your logging business take a hit when aluminum and composite sticks replaced wood twigs? Well played, Matt. Yes, the answer is yes. I've got the Lumberjack shirt on, and no qualms wearing it. And the other thing, too, I think the NHL's officiating motto is aim low and achieve, and they knock it out of the park every single night, Cass. Let's go back inside the Oilers locker room. Trev, who's next?
Yeah, I thought this guy had a pretty solid game. Let's go to number 14 of the Edmonton Oilers, Mattias Ekholm.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the playoffs, we've had a good rhythm on it. I feel like it's one of those things where you build momentum, you build confidence on the unit. It's almost like we have some deep pairings and some forward pairings now that have done it and done it with success and has confidence on it. With that said, they had one in the post, so I mean, it's not always going to work out the way you want. But I thought the kill did a heck of a job tonight, and obviously killed off five penalties, I think it was.
What can you say about Connor just rising to the occasion again, especially if he takes that 4-minute penalty?
Yeah, I mean, we're not surprised in here. He's the best in the world. So to see him get that one, he worked so hard, and he had a good look in the first overtime too to get it done. But by my experience of being here, he doesn't get denied twice, and so again the case was tonight. So. Didn't really matter who got it tonight, but obviously the important one was somebody got it, and it was Connor, and I'm not shocked that it was him.
When you start a series against a new team, there's some feeling out, and you kind of, no one's quite sure how the teams will match up. What did you think overall, your game against Dallas' game? What are your thoughts on the matchup?
Well, they're obviously a really good team. They've shown it throughout the whole regular season. In the playoffs, they've knocked out two really quality opponents, but so have we, and I thought we matched up good. I thought we played really well. I thought that at times they had the upper hand. At times we had the upper hand, and then that's the way it's supposed to be in the playoffs. So we know they're a good team. We know it's going to be a grind against them. They're really good defensively, obviously, and but again, I liked the way we played. I thought we had our looks. I thought 3 minutes to go, we're up. So I really enjoyed the way we played this game one. But again, it's one win. It doesn't really matter in the long run. We got to be ready to go game two.
Stu made a couple of saves real early in that game, and maybe seemed to be on it quite a bit tonight here.
Yeah, I mean, he's a huge part of this team. He's been ever since he let picks get in there for 2 games against Vancouver. He's come back and he's been on fire and he's been his old self and just calm presence out there and makes himself big. And I thought he played really, really well for us tonight and obviously got it done. So, yeah, that's obviously a huge part of our team and great to see.
After they tie that game up, it seemed like their strongest push came in that first overtime. What was the key to kind of surviving that and the low that came with, having to take that game to overtime?
Yeah, I mean, they get the start on the power play there for 4 minutes, so obviously they're going to get some momentum from that. And but we killed it off, and I thought we came back. We had our looks. Maybe that period goes to them. They were a little hotter than we were, but at the same time, it's about sticking around in the playoffs. It's about finding that one goal, and tonight we did that. So I thought we defended well when we had to, but at the same time, we had some looks and was able to bury it.
Mattias, for the first 13 games of the year, the penalty kill was not very good. I know there were a lot of things that were wrong early in the year, but 13 games now in the playoffs, same amount just night and day. Can you pinpoint some structural reasons why that might be the case?
Well, it's kind of what I said earlier. When you get to get some confidence on it, you get a couple of kills early in that LA series. We got some kills early. We got to feel good about us as a unit, and then you kind of you play bigger than you do if you get scored on a bunch. Then obviously you almost tend to get smaller. You look more at the small details. Now you have the confidence to maybe stand up at the Blueies. Sometimes you can stand up and be a little bit bigger of a, I guess, 4-man unit. So I think there's some small details to it, but in the big picture and what's the big difference is the confidence level that we've built throughout the playoffs so far.
All right, there was Mattias Ekholm, confidence level that they've built so far, talking about the PK, talking about defending. Cass, anything stand out to you about what Mattias Ekholm had to say tonight?
Pretty straightforward. Still sounds a little sick.
Yeah, he did sound a little bit sick, didn't he?
Yeah, a little bit.
He's moving all right for a big, sick Viking, isn't he?
Yep, he's doing okay. But I think he's spot on. I mean, penalty killing is one of those things where, and we saw this during the season, where you can have momentum swings. And when mentally you're not there and you're struggling, it gets even harder because there's just no confidence. But when you can build some confidence, you can roll a little bit with it, and it just gets, I don't want to say it gets easier. It's still hard and hard work, but you at least get some flow to your penalty killing.
All right, keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show live on location at Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. Tom Gazzola, Matt Kassian, YouTube Trev with you. Text us 780-218-9999 and get into the nasty chat if you're watching on the EST YouTube channel. We thank you as always, whether you're listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, or EdmontonSports.com. Maybe you're listening on a podcast version in the morning, the day after. Thank you. And then to those who watch us, we appreciate you. If you're wondering what the hell is going on, well, it is Rockstar Bingo with bingo tunes going on, and it is loud in here, but we're enjoying it, and the people that are enjoying Rockstar Bingo are just having a fantastic time. Cass, game number 2. We're going to see it on a Saturday. It's going to be a 6 o'clock start our time. What adjustments do the Oilers have to make? We expect a Dallas Stars team that's probably going to bring a better, sharper game early on.
Yep.
What are the keys for Edmonton? What's Coach Chris Noblock telling his group, and how's this group handling the next couple days before Game 2?
Yep. Well, he's telling them to get back to the hotel and get some sleep. That's what he's telling them. Get some rest. I would put the over/under at skate tomorrow. If and who skates, we'll see. But yeah, it's for guys that do want to skate. It's going to be over/unders at 15 minutes on the ice, so it's going to be a quick one. It's basically going to be rest and recover and get ready to go back to war. Great job on the penalty kill. You're probably going to look at that a little bit to say this is what they were trying to do. They may make this adjustment, so let's be prepared. Probably going to show some video, walk through that a little bit, particularly on the stretch plays and on that neutral zone that Dallas is trying to throw at you. Going to look at that a little bit, and then same thing, get some food in you, get some sleep, drink a lot of water, get a lot of electrolytes, and be ready to go.
What do you want to see from Edmonton outside of a win in game number 2, Cass? What are they going to have to do to be successful after resting up reloading on electrolytes and getting all that sleep.
I want to see that forward posture that they carried for most of that game of aggression, because I thought that's when they were better, when they were pushing more from a forechecking standpoint. I want to see them when Dallas does push, and they will push. I want to see them just, again, I don't think they were panicking today, but it got a little sloppy with the throwing the puck out of the zone, but just control under the heavy pressure when those heavy pressure moments come.
Oh, Cass, fantastic stuff as always, my friend. You get some rest, you get some electrolytes in you, and you be ready for what should be a fun Saturday as the Oilers go toe-to-toe with the Stars in game number 2 from Dallas, Texas. Good job as always, my friend.
Thanks, buddy. It was late, and it was fun, and it was worth it.
It's always a pleasure. All right, pal. That is our game analyst, Matt Kassian. Fantastic work from him. Game in, game out. The man doesn't take a break. He is always on, and we are so thankful to have Matty. He is an excellent analyst, and he can break down the game very well, articulate, sees it well, and you're like, didn't he used to fight in the NHL? The answer is yes, but he understands the game, and that's why he's one of our favorites and the best, in our opinion. 780-218-9999. Let's get YouTube Trev on here. I also need to mention that portions of this hour brought to you by Edmonton's best Rock 100.3 The Bear. You can catch Dusty Nielsen on with Yukon Jack and Scott McCord weekday mornings, and then tune into Jess Jackson on your drive home from work every afternoon. YouTube Trev, how you holding up over there?
I am holding up mighty fine. Just going to adjust my audio. Yeah, Tommy, what a great night. I swear that game just flew by, except for obviously overtime and whatnot. But like,
you crazy?
Yeah, I swear. Like, I blinked and then it was going into the third period, and I was setting up post-game show, and I'm like, holy crap, that felt really, really quick to me. This is awesome though. Like, I'm just looking at the likes. We're almost at 400. So let's see if we can get to 500. That would be really cool. That would be part of EST history. Don't you want to be a part of EST history? Come on.
On this show, hell yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's great. So, yeah, what a solid night. Honestly, I think you guys, you nailed it for sure. The Stars, they were a little sluggish, as we saw from the Oilers in the last series when you got those few days off. It takes you a little while to get your feet, ahead of you and whatnot. So, it was a solid game from the Oilers. I'd say it was solid. I still think there's a lot more that they can do. Like, I don't think that was the best Oilers game we've seen. But in saying that, I think you could say that for the Dallas Stars as well, because I think I've watched every Stars game except for Game 1 against Colorado. But just I was talking to my buddy as well. The Stars they're going to bring it a lot more. Like they have so much more. So yeah, they're a great team, and you kind of saw that going into the third. That was the Dallas Stars you're going to get used to seeing for sure. They're tremendous. Out of the teams that are left in the playoffs, Tommy, the Dallas Stars are the best in the face-off, and that was on full display. Like I swear, and it didn't burn them. Really, I was waiting for it to burn them, but no, the Oilers they played a solid game. I'd say a really good game. I wouldn't say a perfect game, but there's a lot to like about this one as well. The bottom six, I think they held their own for sure, going against for the most part. I'd say, like I said, there still is things that they can improve on, but that was my biggest worry going into this game, Tommy, was how the bottom six was going to match up against the likes of Sagan and Jamie Benn. I thought they handled it pretty well, and you talk about Tanev and whatnot, and he absolutely did so good against Nathan McKinnon and the Colorado Avalanche. Like he matches up so well against the top end talent, and for the most part, I think the Oilers did a really good job. So I'm seeing in the nasty chat a lot of people are commenting on my facial hair. Yeah, it looks like I don't know. Yes, I am growing a playoff beard. I'm sorry, but it's a tradition. I've always done it. I think it's funny. So yeah, it's a great night, Tommy. Great game. The Oilers got it done. Game 1, that was huge. Yeah, and we'll get into the save of the game. I can't wait to talk about that. But all around, nothing to complain about for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. Got to be happy with the win at the end of the night. I'm laughing at a couple of things. Great breakdown, Trev. Fantastic. I'm staring. It's Rockstar Bingo and there's a bunch of people on the dance floor. And I recall that dance floor being one where you lost your keys at our EST Christmas party, first annual. Manager Adam made sure you got home safe that night. You had a great time. And so I'm laughing at that. And then I was seeing some text coming in as well on the nasty chat. JCD says, Tom can't grow one, too hard to grow through steel. And then Chris asking if I have lotion because Connor needs it. Yeah, I do. I've got some in my backpack. My hands get soft and crusty and dry really quickly. It's dry in Alberta, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. We do have more audio to get to, right? Do we have any more, Trev?
Yeah, I was able to snag Chris Noblock, but that's all we got so far. If you want to hear from him now, or?
I want to read a couple of texts, and then we will have to get to the big save of the game as well as the player of the game. So Chris Noblock coming up. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. EA texted in and said, last Western Conference final win was Game 5, May 27th, 2006, against Anaheim, of course, winning the series 4-1. And I remember that day vividly because the night prior, my buddies and I that I played hockey with, we went on a Cancun trip. And we didn't really, it's not like they're showing the game down in Cancun. Plus, we're in Cancun, so we were ripping it up, having a good time. And Edmonton was up in the series 3-1. But I do remember the next morning, we were at the beach bar, and then the same bartender, Manuel, was at the main bar by the breakfast spot underneath the huge palapa. And so we had breakfast. We were in rough shape, and we pull up. We're like, well, little hair of the dog. Let's get her going. We are in Cancun. And they had ESPN Deportes on the TVs behind Manuel. And he's sitting there like cleaning a glass, like rag over his shoulder. He's like, you guys are crazy. And we're like, well, we're first night, we're having fun. And he goes, he's looking at the TV and they're showing White Ave. And we're all like, oh, looking down. He goes, hey, you guys, isn't that your city? And we look up and there's like people shooting off fireworks. There's people climbing on light posts. Don't do that. People lifting up girls in shopping carts. And so I do remember that last Western Conference final win, May 27th, 2006. EA, thank you for the flashback because I do remember it vividly. Cancun, great time, by the way. Absolutely had a fantastic time. Byron texting in. Byron out of Winnipeg says, hey, boys, huge win. I was impressed with Skinner in the fourth line tonight. Penalty kill is rolling. Just had a question. If Henrique slots in next game, where do you guys see the roster change? Byron in Winnipeg. That one I could see maybe they bump McLeod to the wing, Ryan down, and Carrick out. I think. After watching game one tonight. What would you say, Trev?
That's exactly what I'm looking at. Yeah, you got to have Ryan McLeod. Luke Aslick talked about it. McLeod, honestly, he uses his speed a lot, but he's always on the perimeter. And when he was doing really good with Leon Draisaitl, he was on the wing, obviously. So yeah, I like the looks that he gets when he's on the wing. Personally, you have him on the left or right. Fogel's definitely going to be on the third line, and Carrick. It's either Carrick or Ryan are coming out on the fourth line. That's probably what I'd say.
Nicely done. Library Pat chiming in says the ice time allocation was so well managed today. Made me think of how the bench had been shortened in overtime versus the Jets a few years ago. This is a much more sustainable way to do it. Well job to Chris Noblock, Paul Coffey, and the crew. Library Pat. The crew including Mark Stewart on the defensive side of things and Glenn Gulletson on the offensive side / power play side of things. All right. You said Chris Noblock was ready to go. Trev, let's hear from head coach Chris Noblock of the Edmonton Oilers.
You can maybe just give us a thought on Stuart Skinner's night, right from kind of the first couple minutes there all the way through.
I thought Stu was solid. I thought he made some key saves throughout the night. He looked confident. I thought his puck play was really good. And then a couple of saves he made. The one in overtime on the penalty kill with the blocker. Kind of remind me of the one he made in penalty kill 5-on-3 against Vancouver. Just out of nowhere, throws that blocker out. And then, the game tying goal late in the third period. off our skate to the back door. He's got no opportunity on that. But yeah, I think he gets very high grades for his game tonight.
We'll go fourth row center, Ryan.
Chris, with a performance like tonight, how do you evaluate sort of the comfort and maturity of this team where you go up, they tie it, you go to double overtime, you go through the Connor penalty, you win, you watch Connor score the game-winning goal. How do you describe what it's like to see them do this, knowing that this is another one-goal game that you guys have played and another one-goal game you've won?
We've talked about this through the season, about how mature and responsible they are, how they handle adversity, no matter what happens, whether it's a bad call by the official, a bad break, bad play, whatever it is, we just move on and get ready for the next shift. And, that can be pretty tough. You just, I thought we played a heck of a third period. I didn't think we gave up very much. And, a little bit of a break. They earned it. They worked for it. A little bit of a break off our skate for the led to the goal. Those can be hard for a team. Those can be hard to regroup. But, I didn't see any deflation from our guys. They just stuck with it. And then another time, take a 4-minute power play or penalty kill for us, to start overtime. And, our guys knew it had to be done. It was almost like our penalty kills were excited to get over there and, all right, I've got a job to do and we're going to go do it.
Stay in that same row, Bob.
I just want to circle back to you giving defined roles. You got this power play, maybe the best we've seen in 30 years, 5 straight years, 25+%. But focusing in and giving defined roles to the forwards, 3 penalty, I think it's 19-19 over the last 5 games. Just a thought on why are they so successful? A little bit of luck, obviously, puck luck, but why are they so successful, Chris?
Well, there's a lot of confidence. That's the important thing. Confidence and guys working together. You look at that first penalty kill and there's some loose pucks, and the compete and the energy to get those loose pucks were pretty good. But then the plays that they made, those short passes, those short shares that they made to get the puck down the ice, and there was 3 in that first penalty kill I thought were superb. And when things are going well and you have the confidence, it just rolls. Things go well. And, thinking back to regular season, right after the All-Star break, we had that break, and penalty kill wasn't good. We were just a step behind. And I don't know. Just right now, there's a lot of confidence, and everyone knows how important it is, and they're doing a heck of a job.
Third row on the left.
All right, that was Chris Noblock. High praise for his team, and understandably so, as Edmonton picks up the 3-2 victory in double overtime. Connor McDavid, the winner. Edmonton with the series lead in the Western Conference Final. A lot of hockey left in this series, without question. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999, and then Nasty Chat. Keep doing your thing. Still lots of viewers, plus tons of listeners on our audio side of things here on EST. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show, live on location, Hudson's, Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. Of course, GCL Diesel specializes in giving your diesel engine's heart a second wind. We test and remanufacture fuel injectors, pumps, and turbos for a wide range of applications, breathing new life into vital components. Question coming in via the inbox says, from Top Cheese, by the way. Hey, Tommy, what's the on-location schedule for the next couple of games? Top Cheese says LFG Oilers. So that is Let's Oilers, says Top Cheese. We are in studio for Game 2, Trev and I, back at EST HQ. And then on Monday, we will be at Hudson's, White Avenue. Come on down. A lot of the Nasty showed up. I just saw VR Montenegro in the Nasty chat saying that Corey B has now hit a bingo on Rockstar Bingo, Bingo Tunes night here at Hudson's, Bourbon Street. I had no idea that this was a thing, and it's very popular. The dance floor was going, guys and girls on the dance floor. Oh, this one girl, she's taking the guy's shirt off. All right. Good times. That's a nice little Thursday. Okay. Let's get to the next order of business, and that would be the Christopher Boyle Big Save of the Game, presented by Chris Boyle. business owner, tax saver. Take care of your family with Chris Boyle, an experienced advisor with over 17 years in the business. Safeguard yourself and your family with comprehensive coverage for tax-free benefits during hospitalization or fractured or broken bone. You'll get benefits from day one of the incident, so you don't have to worry about the cost and loss of income due to hospitalization. Preserve your income and protect your paycheck by visiting www.christopherboyle.net. YouTube Trev, give us our big save of the game.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Tommy. Just want to highlight we have reached 400 likes, which is that's historic. This is literally history. So yeah, that's sick. Gotta be nasties. Booyah is right.
Changing 400.
Yeah. Let's go. So we're gonna change things up a little bit tonight, Tommy. I do want to highlight the save that Stuart Skinner made on Dadanov very early on in the first period, and then I'm happy that Noblock had mentioned the huge blocker save during the penalty kill, and that's kind of where I'm getting at. 19 straight, the big save of the game. 19 straight penalty kills. Like, that's huge. That's a huge, the PK, the whole effort from everyone, Mattias Ekholm, everyone on the PK. They saved the game. Obviously, Stuart Skinner has to be your best penalty killer, and he was. But just the whole team effort there, it was just satisfying. It was very good to see. They saved the game. They really did. That Dallas Stars team, they can certainly whip the puck around. And, they did get lucky with the post. But you know what? Take it. You take it for sure. That is going to be your big save of the game. So kudos to the Oilers penalty kill. Great job.
Nicely done. That is a Christopher Boyle big save of the game. That 19 straight PKs, Trev, that's a new franchise record in the postseason, too.
Yeah,
I think they hit it at 17, and then now it's at 19, right?
Yeah, it's just massive. Yeah, 19 straight,
yeah.
91.4%. Just unbelievable. That's the highest so far for the remaining teams in the playoffs. So, yeah, just unbelievable.
All right, let's go to this one. Says, hey, Tom, great game. Nice to see a win in the conference finals. Didn't like seeing all the panelists that had Oilers winning the cup change their tune once they match up against Dallas. Also, not only were they standing, but you didn't notice the bald spots. Yikes. Or didn't you notice the bald spots? I didn't look for them, to be honest with you. It happens. Guys get old. And that must have been, like, I saw Gene and Friedge, and they put them in that one kind of spot in the arena. They wedge broadcasters in certain spots, and that looked like one where they're like, we got to get the Canadian guys another spot, and they just kind of wedged them in there. Did not notice the ball spots. That might be light. Maybe somebody's getting thin. Happens to the best of us. If you don't want that to happen, get checked out. Take care of it. 780-218-9999. Let's go to Corey in downtown. Says, love the coverage EST provides. All of you rock. Corey, you rock. Thank you. And we're just continuing on what we had before, and we're hopefully making it better at this fine new station of ours. Let's go to this one from Marco. Marco says, Dallas fans are trolls too. One of them snuck their way into kind of easy trivia on the morning show the other day. Ended with stars and 5. Let's go to Jerry. Said, why was the high sticking call reviewable? They didn't call it a penalty on the ice. And with that in mind, why didn't Vancouver get the same treatment when Hughes was high stick? I don't get it. That's from Jerry. Cass said it that a linesman can call double minors. And then I thought that maybe the situation room called down, but they could have on the Hughes one. But maybe they saw the blood, and that's what made them do it. So, yeah, that was a new one. All right, Trev, any other audio or video to get to, or are we basically done it all?
Yeah, that's all we got so far,
that's
Tommy.
All right, fantastic. 780-218-9999. I saw a bunch of texts I didn't get to. Pete and Devin. All right. Boys, comment on the crappy ice. Aren't there league standards that have to be met? We touched on it a bit, Pete. Can't control the weather outside. The buildings, depending on the age, the ice plant. The league can make recommendations. If they're finding it's getting too hot outside and humid inside, they have at times brought in mobile dehumidifiers for cities down south, and then Edmonton is the opposite of that, where they actually have misters that shoot water, like they mist into the air every few minutes to keep the humidity up in the building. Plus, it's super cold in there unless you get lots of bodies in there. So, yes, there's a standard. Yes, the league's ice crews are there monitoring everything. They take down data, and I'm sure they're going to make adjustments for Game 2. Big Dave texting in says, love the win, and the team looked great tonight, especially Stu. Didn't get to see the first 50 minutes, but were the Oilers doing a lot of dump and chase tonight? Great way to start the series. LFG. Big Dave, no, they are carrying the puck quite a bit. And then in the third period, even pressing a bit in the third, maybe a little bit of chip and chase, but not a ton. And then Dallas got that equalizer. Yes, fortuitous bounce. Yes, off of Darnell Nurse's skate trying to block the shot. They had a couple of opportunities to get the puck out. Didn't on that one, and it culminated in the goal. But I thought they played a pretty solid game. They were defending well and weren't able to get that third goal until overtime. But overall, it was a good game. There goes VR Montenegro. Have a great night, Mike. Great to see you. Norman at Combine, who came by today, says, exciting game tonight, guys. Love OT. Let's go, Oilers. Shout out to the Nasty crew tonight at Hudson's. Great bunch of folks. Have a great night. Don't stay out too late, Tom. LOL from Norm. Norm, I will not. I will not. 6 o'clock or logger, and I'm done. Conroe, Texas says, I agree with Cass on Texans. They're awesome. Even the Stars fans are okay. Nuge was a force on the winner. He could have given up, but he didn't. Nuge plays like this. The Oilers have got a chance. Nugent Hopkins getting a lot of praise. I saw in the Nasty chat as well as the inbox. Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. The Oilers take game 1, 3-2 in double overtime. Connor McDavid, the winner, 32 seconds into the second extra frame. Let's go to the next order of business. Trev, get your butt on here. It's the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game. Damon Bunting, consistent, top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian Remax realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven. Damon understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram page at Damon Bunting Real Estate. YouTube Trev, who is our player of the game?
Yeah, I think it's fairly obvious tonight, Tommy. Just looking at the Nasty chat, the general consensus is Stuart Skinner. That's who Noblock was talking about. That's who I'm talking about right now. He played terrific. Like, he was actually really good. He kept them in this game for sure, right from the start. So, yeah, it was a solid game. Dusty asked me on the Nielsen show this morning, like, what would you be happy with for Stuart Skinner in this series? And I said, you know, if he's chugging along at like a 900 save percentage, 910 save percentage, I think you got to be pretty happy with that. But tonight, 939 save percentage, 33 or 31 saves tonight. So yeah, just unbelievable night on Stuart Skinner. I don't know if he's gonna continue this. Absolutely, it would be awesome if he did for sure. But yeah, give the guy some credit where credit's due. Stuart Skinner was absolutely awesome tonight. And he is your player of the game. So good job, Stewie.
Nicely done, YouTube Trev. Nicely done, Stuart Skinner. Really solid tonight. I had to see Andrew says 939, 939, 939. Big Slime Nasty giving the player of the game to Mark Fain, of all people. Really good dude. Also, the chicken dance is being played right now here at Hudson's, and nobody's doing it right. Nobody knows how to do the chicken dance. That's how you do it. Do you know this one, Trev? This was quite popular at the Gazzola household at family parties.
This is I kind of learned how to play this on the accordion. This was the first song I learned how to play.
Oh, you play the accordion, do you?
And the only song I ever learned how to play. I know like the first 10 notes. Pretty brutal.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. All right, if you want to slide a text in under the wire, hit us up, 780-218-9999. Tom Gazzola, YouTube Trev with you, winding things down here at Hudson's West Edmonton Mall on Bourbon Street. Collingwood Rob texting, it says, hey, Tom and Trev, I thought the officiating could have been better. Collingwood Rob, always. The Holloway call was weak, and the Bouchard slash never made contact on the hands or stick. They missed a high stick on Ben when he swung his stick, hit Skinner square in the head. Ekholm was yelling for the call. That was shortly after they killed the 4-minute. Yes, agreed, and they miss a lot. There are so many good things about tonight's win. Collingwood Rob follows up with Skinner, for sure, the number one reason, and the PK. Indeed, Collingwood Rob, thanks for the text. West End Rob, we'll give the final word to West End Rob, who says, boys, Stars still running mainly 5D. Does this OT make them even more likely run out of gas as the series goes on? I don't think so, West End Rob. I think the Stars they're in it for the long haul. They're galvanized. They're geared up. Yes, they're down a couple of bodies. Alex Petrovic didn't play that much, but no, I don't think they're going to be worn down. I think they're going to be just fine. Trev, what would you say?
With the defense and the depth, no, I'm not too worried. If you're a Stars fan, you shouldn't be worried. They've been kind of clicking at this rate for the last few series, so it hasn't really faulted them. I don't think it's going to fault them now. If you're a Stars fan, I wouldn't be worried.
Well said. Chief Andy says, accordion. We do not know YouTube Trev. There's many layers and wrinkles to young Trevor Bartholomew Graham Party, isn't there?
I like to think so. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Chief Andy, for the shout out. I'll shout out you. Appreciate it.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, that's going to do it for the Oil Stream postgame show brought to you by GCL Diesel. A huge thank you to them for hopping on as our presenting sponsors. And big thank you to Adam and Jade and the entire staff here, Eric, Jeff, other Jade, Riley. They are fantastic. We will be in studio at EST Global HQ for Game 2 on a Saturday. Puck drop, 6 o'clock our time. We're on the air at 4:30. And nicely done, Trev. All right. Be sure to join us Monday night, Game 3, live on location, Hudson's White Avenue. A big thank you to everyone who tuned in, whether it was on our audio stream, on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and everybody who watched tonight on our EST YouTube channel. We hit 400 plus likes. Fantastic. You guys are the best. We will talk to you tomorrow. For YouTube Trev and Matt Kassian, I'm Tom Gazzola saying have a great night, Oil Country. See you later.